A second.
Maybe it was a I don't.
Who
yeah,
was
first, second.
Who was the third broadcaster?
I don't know. I don't know. I didn't listen long enough. I didn't even know it was Joe Buck.
It was Joe Buck, and then Harold Reynolds, former Mariner.
Yeah.
And then there was another guy.
Yeah. Do you have a good voice?
He was kind of like trying to get the zingers in a little.
Yeah. He must have been a ball player.
He was trying to cut his teeth a little, maybe.
All right. British Open opens tomorrow.
Yes.
And so I have to read this story, and I don't know exactly what is in it, but the headline is British Open -Trump. So I'm compelled.
Yeah, got it.
I'm compelled to open this up. British Open organizers say they will bide their time before deciding whether Turnberry should be removed from the championship rotation following comments by the course's owner, Donald Trump, about Mexicans. Trump's a candidate for president and is facing a backlash after saying some things about the Mexican immigrants. Recently, he purchased Turnberry, a resort on the west coast of Scotland, and it has hosted the British Open in the past. Asked if Trump's comments compromised Turnberry's place in the Open rotation, Peter Dawson, chief executive, this is his last year, by the way, of the RNA, he says, we'll just let a bit of time pass, and future championship committees can deal with that at that time. In other words, exit stage right, I have no comment.
The day after my tenure is up.
Now, speaking of the BO, British Open, a chance to make history at home, at the home of golf is Jordan Spieth, trying to make the British Open feel like just another event. But hey, it's St. Andrews. The Masters U.S. Open champ set out on the final day of practice. His news conference filled the room, and that only happens with Tiger and Rory, but now Jordan's right in the middle of it all. He said that his vivid memories of his practice round on the old course when he was a freshman at Texas on his way to the Walker Cup, and conceded that one cannot play enough rounds on a course that's been around as long as golf has been around. He says his victory at the John Deere Classic last week also helps.
Yeah.
So there you go. I think, the odds-on favorite, certainly this week, going into the Grand Old Open, has to be that youngster, Jordan Spieth. All right. Jeff, if I can bother you for a moment, you look like Stan Laurel right now.
What can I do for you? Weather?
Yes, sir.
Is that where we're at?
Yeah.
Gee, many Christmas.
You're absolutely right, Ollie.
All right, South Sound forecast, 53 today. Right now, actually. It was 82 yesterday at Sanderson Field. Expecting about the same today. 53 currently. Tomorrow, some clouds roll in, mid-70s. Friday, 80. Saturday and Sunday, 90.
What?
Back to 80 on Monday.
Go to High Power.
I would. 53, good morning.
It's Daybreak with Jeff and Dale on KMAS News Radio. Join the guys as they talk with neighbors, newsmakers, and each other, getting your day off to the absolute best possible start in the history of mornings. Connect with Jeff and Dale through the KMAS listener line, by email or Facebook. Now, from the gateway to the Olympic Mountains, Daybreak with Jeff and Dale.
Good morning to you, Daybreak, KMAS.
Like a house plan. There's no perfect house plan.
I'm trying out a new camera angle here on the... Now, the video that I am looking at that I believe is being streamed live over the World Wide Web.
Yes.
This morning.
We want to welcome the world.
Good morning. Is reversed.
Oh,
so
no.
Like where it says live broadcast up there.
It's backwards?
It's backwards. Because look at me, I'm pointing over here.
And it's over there. Is it over there?
Hell, that's silly how it works. All right, good morning to you.
I didn't even know there was a live broadcast.
Most days.
Would that be us? Okay. Well then.
Good morning. How you doing?
Shape up. It's a brand new day.
Yeah.
15th of July, a Wednesday, middle of the week, middle of the month. It's the Ides of everything.
Mm-hmm.
And we have our continuing rollout of candidate interviews. We also have, it being Wednesday, Dan Griffey scheduled.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's 50-50. he surprised us last week.
Sure. Of course, they were still in session last week.
Yeah. A bi-weekly report on poverty in Mason County, and Toby Kevin will be in studio with us. Also, it's Wednesday, so Port of Call coming up. So some of our standard programming here on a Wednesday on Daybreak with Jeff and Dale.
So Cruz was 0 for 2. Felix was shut out in his half an inning or his inning of play.
That was good, right?
Yeah. So that's good stuff. A little tough for Cruz, but it was pretty fun to watch the old All-Star game there yesterday. It was amazing because Albert Pujols is in there this year. He has to be done. But he has been playing for 15. So they said that there was, 24 people under 24 or something like that. Record number of people under 24. So
in the All-Star game?
All-Star game. So when Albert Pujols joined the Major League Baseball, that was 17 seasons ago-ish.
Yeah.
So that means that the people were 7. The kids that were just starting Little League ball saw rookie Albert Pujols, right? And through the years, watched him as a ball player, and now many got to play with him yesterday because he's been around so long. Isn't that cool?
That is cool.
I saw another one where a couple years ago, Derek Jeter welcomed a Little League World Series champion to stand next to him at a ball game, maybe a World Series.
Right.
And last year, the year before, he got to play in the All-Star game with Derek Jeter, this guy who was there. I mean, just the longevity of some of these players is pretty amazing. Yeah,
baseball does lend itself to that. That is one kind of sports career that you can stretch out for a long, long time if you take good care of yourself. And you're blessed with a good, solid core, I guess.
Yeah.
So that is kind of cool. The All-Star Midsummer Classic in the books. American League wins again. And I guess they get 2 days to get back to wherever they got to be. Nothing starts again until Friday.
Yeah.
And at that time, you'll find Seattle surfacing in New York City. And take on the Yanks over the weekend. Yikes.
What else is going on in the news here today?
Well, that's a great question, Jeff.
The Splash Group is at $81,000 raised.
Yeah, so $19,000 short of their $100,000 goal, but they got a little bit of time left. They got till the beginning of August, apparently.
Yeah.
So a couple more weeks, and boy, what a remarkable response from the community, and keep her going.
I'll be honest with you, I was a little surprised.
Me too.
So that's good.
Yeah, it's awesome.
We got some more news about that girl who survived the plane crash.
Yeah, that is an incredible story.
And then some other news stories from around the Northwest.
Sure, lots of those going on.
Good morning.
You're listening to Daybreak with Jeff and Dale on KMAS News Radio.
I'm Colin Montgomery with NFL Network Now on the Westwood One Radio Network. NFL media insider Ian Rappaport reporting that Broncos unsigned franchise player Demaryius Thomas won't be at camp on time if the sides fail to reach a long-term deal by Wednesday's deadline. Rappaport reporting that the Broncos are offering Thomas well over $12 million per year, but are not willing to give him Megatron-type money. Calvin Johnson's 8-year deal has an average annual value of $18.8 million. Rappaport also reporting the Bengals wideout A.J. Green will play out the final year of his deal. The 5th-year option on Green's rookie contract is worth $10.1 million. And Bills offensive line coach Aaron Cromer has been placed on indefinite paid administrative leave stemming from an arrest for assault and battery. And NFL Network's Kimberly Jones reporting that Giants defensive end Jason Pierre-Paul has been discharged from Jackson Memorial Hospital in Miami. JPP had his right index finger amputated and fractured his right thumb after a July 4th fireworks incident. This has been NFL Network Now on the Westwood One Radio Network.
If you can't recall your own cell phone number, but know the braking distance of a half-ton pickup, Traveling downhill at 57 miles per hour? Then CarQuest Auto Parts is for you. That's because CarQuest Auto Parts is for those who really know and care about their car. Right now, get a half-inch drive click-style torque wrench, a $34.99 value for just $10 with the purchase of CarQuest Platinum brake pads and 2 rotors. CarQuest is serious auto parts.
See participating stores for details.
Why does analyst Dave Sims always book his La Quinta stay on LQ.com? Because he sleeps easy knowing he got the lowest price and La Quinta returns points. And when Dave sleeps easy, you know what he can do?
After a perfect presentation, Dave locks eyes with his horned adversary, and he
Grabs the bull by the horns.
Hey, that's my line.
But don't they sound better?
Point taken. Book now at LQ.com. When you book direct, you always get the lowest price guaranteed. Terms and conditions apply.
iFiber Communications, the fastest in Washington State, has just opened their doors here in Mason County and got their first local customers signed up. James, tell me about your experience.
From the first time I learned of iFiber to the day I got hooked up, even now, I felt that my fiber connection and the service given to me have been the #1 most important job to every member of the iFiber team. And not just because I was first in line with my nose pressed up to the glass waiting for a company to take my money.
What differences have you noticed?
I get what I pay for. With non-fiber solutions, you're paying up to the top and never get a constant number anywhere near that top. With fiber, you certainly do. With iFiber, you get it at a competitive and affordable price.
Why should others sign up for iFiber Internet?
Well, iFiber has made a commitment to Mason County. They're working hard to bring fast speeds to everyone at an affordable price. And now with phones and television, your bill will
Get signed up for iFiber Communications today by calling 360-427-4000 or visit iFiber.tv for more information.
Hey, Paul, looks like we're coffee twins. We both got McCafes.
Oh, you mean my bean brew?
Yeah, your fresh brewed McCafe coffee.
No, I think you mean my mojo. My Java, my morning joke.
Okay, Joe, bro.
Whoa.
Back a Minion Mania Instant Win food prize game piece at McDonald's. And this is the sound of you winning $250,000 in the Minion Mania online sweepstakes.
Oh yeah, oh yeah!
When it comes to joy, we all speak the same language. This summer, if you're 13 or older and a U.S. resident, come play Minion Mania at McDonald's. You can play in the restaurant only until August 3rd. And check out the new movie Minions only in theaters. No purchase necessary, void where prohibited. Official rules in restaurant and at minions@mcd.com.
Good morning. I'm Thurston County Sheriff John Snaza, and you're listening to Jeff and Dale on KMAS News Radio.
All right. Thank you, sir. And a good morning to you. It's a Wednesday here at KMAS 625. And forecast for today, pretty much the same as yesterday. The weekend, though, is the big story. It's going to be back up in the 90s. 53 out there, right meow. All right, 16-year-old girl who survived the crash of a small plane in the rugged mountains of north central Washington made it home to Bellingham. Autumn Beach was released from a hospital last night, arrived at her Bellingham home just before midnight. She said Leland and Sharon Bowman, her step-grandparents, did not survive the crash on Saturday. Searchers say they have located what they believe is the wreckage, but have not been able to reach the site just yet.
Yeah, man. Oh, man. Well, the governor has gained national attention for rolling out some of the most ambitious climate initiatives in the country, but has failed in his own state to pass bold proposals, including the cap and trade plan to charge emissions to oil refineries and power plants. Democratic governor also conceded on another climate initiative and is expected to sign a transportation revenue package today that fuel standard, whatever I just said.
Seattle Fire Department has set a new set of tools to save some of their most helpless fire victims. A company called Invisible Fence brand of Seattle donated 20 pet oxygen masks to the department, helping to resuscitate animals overcome by smoke. You see them, sometimes they'll take their masks off and just put it over the whole head, like of smaller, like chihuahuas.
Right.
I've also seen them do CPR on animals. Boy, that's powerful.
Yeah, it really is. Down in southwest Washington, Hazeldale, 2 women and a man found fatally shot in a home there in Hazeldale. A double, it apparently looks as though it's a double homicide-suicide. The 3 killed apparently a husband, wife, and an adult female relative.
626 here at KMAS and KMAS.com. Seattle City Council plans to discuss a proposal today for a new tax on gun sellers. Money collected would be used for gun violence prevention and some research on how to reduce the impact of gun violence on the city and its residents. They say a new tax would collect between $300,000 and $500,000 a year.
A railway spokesperson said a northbound commuter train has struck and killed a female pedestrian in the North Seattle area. The train was a Sound Transit train headed for Everett from Seattle. And they sounded the horn, applied emergency brakes, but were unable to stop in time, killing a pedestrian that was on the tracks.
Coming up in just a couple of weeks here, Dale, we have got a big doings at the Little Creek Casino.
We do.
Car show coming up. We're going to be talking with Dale Krampa on the 30th, but we can tell song.
Yeah.
Back in the when did we say that was? 97 is when we were looking that up.
Right. And,
Cherry Pop and Daddy, Squirrel Nut Zippers, Brian Setzer Orchestra, all that swing music came back into vogue after the movie Swingers kind of came out again. Anyways, they're going to be playing at the Little Creek Event Center, 8 o'clock. All part of the big car show. We'll be out there broadcasting and hanging out all day on the 26th of July. And it's what, the 50th anniversary of the Ford Thunderbird? Is that what it is, I think?
Yeah, we will be actually there on August 1st.
Oh.
Cruise the Creek 3.
Oh.
Yeah, and then you were spot on. 31st is the Cherry Pop and Daddies.
Oh, I'm a weekend off there.
You were. Well, you started on the right weekend, and then you leaped back.
And I jumped it.
You jumped back.
Oh, well.
Yeah. So, but
as long as you know.
Speaking of the 25th is the 4-H extravaganza, and there's a golf tournament for dogs, and on the 26th is the Shelton Kiwanis pancake breakfast in the park.
Mm-hmm.
So there's always something every weekend anyway. So just stay tuned here, and we'll get you delivered to something on the weekend.
Okay, great. Well, I was a weekend off then.
Yeah. But you started the story on the right weekend. You just leaped in the middle of it, is all. You had us all going on the ridge and on the poker run.
Yeah.
And then the next thing, and we were having the Zoot Suit Daddies, and all that was going on, and cherry popping, and everything was good. And then the next day was all of a sudden a week ago back. So you're good.
Okay.
You're okay. Just don't miss Monday.
No, Monday we'll be broadcasting live from the beautiful Alderbrook Golf Course.
Indeed.
For the Love Inc. Golf Tournament. Saw the signs up around town. You can still get some golf balls from heaven. They'll be dropped high above in the helicopter from Olympic Air. And if any of them land right in the hole, get a couple $1,000. And there's even prize for furthest from the hole.
Heavenly. You bet. 6:30. Time for news on Daybreak with Jeff and Dale.
You're listening to Daybreak with Jeff and Dale on KMAS News Radio.
Local news is brought to you by Fred Holmes Tree Service. FredHolmesTreeService.com, 427-4489.
For KMAS Newsradio.com, I'm Marilyn Foster. Mason County Budget Manager Frank Pinter presented the budget timeline and budget guidelines to the county's department heads and elected officials for drafting their 2016 operating budget. He said they're simplifying the process this year.
Last year we had a very complicated and complex accounting Excel spreadsheet. This year it's only going to be a one-page summary. It's not going to be line by line. It will have things like salaries, overtime, extra help coming to a salaries total. Benefits will be for a total of benefits. And operationally, it'll be based on the character codes. Supply, services, intergovernmental. So it'll be just summaries of each of those rather than line by line detail.
The timeline requires department heads and elected officials to complete their preliminary budgets and return them to the auditor by August 10th. Budget workshops will begin September 1st, with the target for a completed budget being early December 2015. With continued strong community support and a grant awarded to the hospital, money raised for the Shelton Pool capital repairs now tops $81,000. Currently, pool repairs are scheduled to go to bid at the beginning of August, giving Splash about 2 more weeks to reach its funding goal of $100,000. Splash President Jackie McAlevey encourages residents to get their donations in. Checks can be mailed to Splash, P.O. Box 1982, Shelton 98584, or online at masongeneral.com. Tumwater police are investigating an altercation that led to a shooting yesterday morning. The altercation occurred at a construction site on Dennis Street Southwest. After the sound of a gunshot, people fled the scene. Police found a shell casing and damage. The suspects are believed to have fled in a light-colored Toyota Camry with damage to the front windshield and a missing rear window, and a gray or tan-colored Toyota with the trunk lid strapped down. Anyone with information is asked to call the Tumwater Police Department. The public is hearing 16-year-old Autumn Veach describe the plane crash she miraculously survived in a newly released 911 tape.
I was riding from Kalispell, Montana to Bellingham, Washington, and about, well, I don't know where, but we crashed and I was the only one that made it out. I have a lot of burns on my hands and I'm like kind of covered in bruises and scratches and stuff.
Veach hiked down a trail and flagged down a car. Search crews are still looking for the plane wreckage. For 1030 KMAS, FM 104.1, and in Thurston County on 92.9, I'm Marilyn Foster.
Is your family doing some growing? Whether it's an expansion of your home or the addition of a new family car, Peninsula Credit Union can provide fast, friendly service with terrific rates. We offer personal lines of credit, affordable auto loans, and a variety of home loan options to get you moving. Visit our offices in Shelton, Belfair, Paulsbo, Port Orchard, and Port Townsend, or go online to pcfcu.org. At Peninsula Credit Union, our priority is you.
Take KMAS wherever you go with our new free KMAS mobile app. It's a free download from either your Apple or Android device. Check out the latest news, connect with KMAS, and even listen wherever you have a signal. Search KMAS in your app store and download our free KMAS app today.
Like us on Facebook and get our local news right on your new. Daybreaks and Broken Dreams. New title. Good morning, 6:34 here on your Wednesday morning. I'm Dale Hubbard, and in sports news, it was the big Midsummer Classic. And let's see, we got number 86th Major League Baseball All-Star Game. American League 6-3 winners over the National League last night in Cincinnati. And Felix was on the mound in the third inning and continued his masterful perfection at All-Star games. He was in the third inning, and he struck out one, did not allow a single hit, and had only 8 pitches for his half of the inning. So he did an exemplary job. Nelson Cruz not having as much fun. He struck out swinging to end the first inning. And then flew out on the very first pitch he saw in the fourth inning. So,
well, I'm glad they picked him then.
But Lloyd had a good time.
I saw him.
He was in the dugout high-fiving.
I saw him.
Hanging out. Just kind of hanging out and yakking.
Pretty much.
Yeah. So good on them. Good on the Mariners, who were representative of us here in the Northwest in the All-Star game. And we did well. We did okay. We looked good. And now the team will regather and get set for a 3-game weekend series in New York City.
New York City?
New York City against the New York Yankees. It's those damn Yankees. And we have a 3-game set against them starting on Friday afternoon. I think we have our pregame at 3 and the first pitch is at 10 after 4.
Sounds good.
On Friday afternoon, a good way to get on home with a little bit of baseball action coming out of your radio speakers. Other sports notes, the Sounders will be back in action again this weekend. They've been limping along with folks who have been injured, folks who have been on suspension. They've been struggling a little bit, and they have not had any offensive punch. In fact, it was kind of interesting to note that Seattle, Portland, and Vancouver, all 3 teams at the very top of the Western Conference, and not one of those soccer teams in the Northwest scored a goal last weekend. Not one of them.
Boy, that's one of the odds of that happening.
That's pretty extraordinary odds, I'd say. And so there's a quick snapshot of some sports notes for you here this morning. Jeff Slakey, ladies and gentlemen.
Sir.
Not to be confused with Jim Slakey, his father.
No.
I need to call him today. Can you give me his number?
I sure can.
All right.
53 and clear skies as we start the day here today. 82 was the high yesterday at Sanderson Field. Expect about the same today. 75 tomorrow, 80 Friday, and then we're at 90 for Saturday and Sunday.
It's Daybreak with Jeff and Dale on KMAS News Radio. Join the guys as they talk with neighbors, newsmakers, and each other, getting your day off to the absolute best possible start in the history of mornings. Connect with Jeff and Dale through the KMAS listener line, by email or Facebook. Now, from the southernmost tide pool of Puget Sound, Daybreak with Jeff and Dale.
All right, good morning to you. It is Daybreak here, KMAS 638. Candidates forum coming up a week from tomorrow, Dale. Public Works Building.
Oh,
corner
yes.
of Highway 101, Dayton Airport Road. So the best way to get in there, and it'll be live. You are more than welcome to come and hang out with us.
Oh, man, it's a fun night. It really is. And we usually get a pretty good audience to fill the seats. Also, you're invited to submit questions for our upcoming candidates forum. So feel free to shoot us an email. You can do so at kmas.news@kmas.com. And just that easy. And we'll take your questions and put them with the others. And we'll be covering all the races here. So we got the port race. We got the 2 positions in the city commission races, the mayor and the finance commissioner races. That's locally. And we've got 4 school board positions to fill. We've got 10 candidates for the Shelton School Board. So it'll be a pretty busy night that night.
And the candidates have been contacting us, and now we got a handful of them.
Right. More than half of the school board people have already responded. We just opened that up to them about a week ago. So we're pretty excited about that. And then the Government Affairs Committee from the Shelton Mason County Chamber of Commerce is going to help us in the selection process of questions, as well as another independent group of citizens from the community headed up by the
poverty issues around the area. And so that's just one of the great guests and one of the folks that will be helping us figure out all the details for this big candidates forum that we'll have on the air, live, and on the web. If you would like to watch or listen in, you can do it wherever you'd like. So that's cool.
Well, thanks. Mrs. Kirkeen died on this date in 1743.
Mrs. who?
Kirkeen, Kirkeen.
Does that
died for
last name mean anything?
No, but you pause there and then you fill in the blank and you go, she died for the 3rd time.
Wait, what?
The previous 2 times, the Dublin woman had suddenly awakened.
Yikes.
Just before being buried. Again, 1700s. The 3rd time, her husband, who's got to be just freaking out at this stage of the game, right? Her husband had the coffin nailed shut very quickly and lowered into the ground. This is a true story.
Wow.
This happened in 1743.
That was a concern that people didn't have the science they do now. They don't know if they're dead or not.
Oh, yeah. And well, they used to have the little pipes there.
Yeah.
So people were a little freaked out about all that.
Oh, my gosh. That is amazing.
Yeah, that was quite a story. And thought we'd throw that in. And then we lost Tom Thumb on this date in 1883. At the age of 18, he was only 30 inches tall. By the time he got to the age, and he was 40 inches tall.
Boy, so he kept growing.
Yeah.
40 inches.
You know, I think our ears and our feet always keep growing.
That's what they say, even after we die.
Well, I don't know about that.
I've
their face gets smaller or if their ears get bigger. But, man, I see some real Dumbos there in the old folks' home. No, that's not true. All right, what else is going on here on this fantastic midday of the month?
2002. There was a lot of reality shows in 2002. The early aughts were kind of that time. And remember David Guest? Do you remember David Guest?
That name is familiar.
Yeah. He married Liza Minnelli.
Oh.
Kind of a strange coupling there.
Yeah.
And they were going to have a show.
Well, he wasn't a star or anything, was he? He wasn't
I don't know how Liza Minnelli met this guy, David Guest, but he was married to Liza up until 2007.
Oh.
Boy, yeah, that was a weird couple.
Well, Die Hard opened on this date in 88 and made Bruce Willis a movie star.
I love that movie.
Yeah.
After that movie, everything was Die Hard on blank. Bullock was Die Hard on a bus.
Oh, I got you. Everything was Die Hard on.
To kind of, oh man, that was such.
Yeah, Die Hard set a bar, for sure.
Alan Rickman was Hans Gruber, the main bad guy in there.
Perfect bad guy in that.
He was so good.
I just saw that movie somewhere in the last 6 months completely again. Yeah. It was good. It was compelling. The part where he walks across the broken glass with his feet. Okay.
Yeah. And he doesn't have shoes in the whole movie because at the very beginning, he heard that if he walks around and crinkles his toes on carpet, it helps with the jet lag. And after that, he never got shoes on.
Never got back to his shoes. It was kind of busy.
Kind of busy.
That's funny. It was a great movie. All right. And let's see. Anything else of significant?
Twitter was launched.
Twitter was launched on this date. This is kind of an interesting question, really. This would be a good one for sitting at the water cooler this morning. 2006. So 9 years ago?
Wow.
Just 9 years, and think how big Twitter is in our lives right now. And I was down in Phoenix, I think in 2007. Jerry and I went down there, and I went to a little 2-day seminar, Dealey Bob, down there with this guy called the Taz, Jim Tazmerick. And he introduced the Twitter deal. Then the guy that invented it, he was down there and talking about this concept, and I'm going like I want to know what the guy's socks he's wearing. And he writes that, and I'm drinking coffee today, and I said, this is stupid. Boy, I have a vision for a future, don't I? Now look at Twitter. And I thought it was just the goofiest thing I'd ever heard when I was sitting in there.
With your pet insurance
deal,
you would think you would have been a little more apt,
little open to something new.
Dale was could have been on the ground level for pet insurance.
God.
Another idea, though, on its face, is a stupid idea. But now our pets are so ingrained in our lives.
Yeah.
You have to have pet insurance. And I had a person on Facebook just the other day. Well, does anybody know anything good about pet insurance?
Yeah.
Oh, my gosh.
You go to a vet today and have your dog spend about 3 days in the clinic, and you'll know what pet insurance is valued at.
Wow. What a day.
Okay. Twitter. Go tweet me at Daybreak
No, 10:30 KMAS.
Yeah, that's it.
You're listening to Daybreak with Jeff and Dale on KMAS News Radio.
Are you tired of commuting to a job that makes someone else rich, working harder than ever, but getting nowhere? Do you hate spending hundreds of dollars every week on daycare, having someone else raise your children? With our opportunities, you can start earning money as soon as next week. You get to be the boss, work from home, and live a happier life. At Be the Boss Network, you'll find hundreds of work-from-home opportunities that you can literally start today and be earning money as soon as next week. Go to freedom31.com and start earning money as soon as next week. You get to be the boss. Get out of the rat race. Work from home. Go to freedom31.com right now and change your life today. That's freedom, the number 31.com. Go to freedom31.com and start earning money as soon as next week. You be the boss. Go to freedom31.com.
Join KMAS, the Mason County Journal, and the Shelton-Mason County Chamber of Commerce for the 2015 Primary Election Candidates Forum, Thursday, July 23rd at the Mason County Public Works Building at the corner of Highway 101 and Dayton Airport Road. The forum starts at 6, and you can join us live at Public Works, on the radio, or online at KMAS.com. This year, there are multiple candidates running for the Shelton Commissioner of Finance, Shelton Mayor, Port of Shelton, and Shelton School Board, and the top 2 advance to the general election in November. Submit your questions to KMAS News and KMAS.com. Get involved in the process this year. Decisions made now could impact you for years to come. The 2015 Primary Election Candidate Forum, live from the Mason County Public Works Building, Thursday, July 23rd at 6 p.m. Brought to you by Tom and Amy Davis, who remind you to remember our vets.
Get ready to drop your tops and head to Little Creek Casino Resort for the 3rd annual Cruise at the Creek Hot Rod and Custom Car Show. The fun kicks off Friday night, July 31st at 8 with a live appearance by the Cherry Poppin' Daddies, free for Players Club members. Saturday, August 1st, bring the family to the Custom Car Show, highlighting the 60th anniversary of the Ford Thunderbird. Get Cruise at the Creek details at little-creek.com. Little Creek Casino Resort, better than ever.
Good morning. I'm Colonel Sean McCaffrey, and you're listening to Jeff and Dale on KMAS News Radio.
Good morning to you, Daybreak, Jeff and Dale, and thank you to General McCaffrey. He was in town a couple months ago talking about he met with the sheriffs, and they were doing their sheriff's breakfast, and he was there talking. And do you know who Tim Ferriss is, Dale?
I don't.
He's a guy, and he's written a book, The 4-Hour Work Week, or 4-Hour Work Day, The 4-Hour Body. It's just ways that you can kind of change the way you do stuff to get stuff done a little faster.
Yeah.
That's pretty cool just because he's, here and now he's there. Whatever. Just thought you'd like to know that. There's a book out there, very popular, The 4-Hour Workday, which would be nice.
Linda Ronstadt, who suffers from Parkinson's? Something where she can't sing anymore. She's lost her voice.
Does she have vocal nodes?
I don't know. But she's, what a songbird. My goodness. It's her birthday today.
Oh, happy birthday.
69. You're no good somewhere out there.
Uh-huh. So give me just a second. I can find out just what she has. Who else has a birthday? Anybody?
Oh, gosh, yeah. Are you kidding me? From Leonard Skinner fame. The drummer of Leonard Skinner?
Leonard?
No. Artemis.
That's his name?
Artemis Pyle. Having his birthday today. I love the nightlife. I love to disco.
I bet you do. Parkinson's.
Alicia Bridges. 62 today. Joe Satriani.
Oh, man. There are some good birthdays today.
Virtuoso guitarist extraordinaire, 59. Stokely, I don't know who that is having his birthday. Also, off of the music charts and into real life, well, as close to real life as we get, Patrick Wayne, son of the Duke, 76 today.
Cool. Forrest Whitaker is 54. Brigitte Nielsen is just 52. Boy, I feel like she's been around for a very long time.
Lolita Davidovich. I just like saying that name.
Lolita.
Yeah.
And who else? Brian Austin Green. He's 42. You may remember him from the original Beverly Hills 90210.
I don't.
He's married to Megan Fox, who was on the Transformers movies.
Didn't lose him too long ago. Alex Karras, football star turned actor, was on Webster. He was the dad on Webster. He was born on this date in 1935. So if it's your birthday, you are sharing it with a lot of nice folks here today. And we wish you a very happy day.
652 KMAS. Going to be a pretty nice one here out there for you. 53 currently.
Goodness gracious. It's going to warm up, though.
Yeah, about the same as yesterday, 80s. The weekend, though, 90.
Well,
both days.
You know, whenever you have a taste problem with a food product, if you can make it taste like bacon, that kind of overcomes everything.
Okay.
It's kind of the common denominator of a universal pleasure.
Even vegetarians I know
like bacon. Yeah. Well, here's a chance for us to satisfy not only a vegan diet, but still have that taste of bacon. Scientists working incessantly, day and night, 24 hours a day. It's been scientifically proven that many kinds of algae are extremely nutritious. Concept of eating seaweed is not very palatable to most of us. But now scientists have created a new strain that, yes, tastes like bacon.
What?
According to KPTV, researchers at Oregon State University have patented the strain of red leafy organism known as dulse, which boasts twice the protein of kale. I guess I mean boasts, not boats.
Which boats?
Boasts twice the protein of kale. You're a kale fan. Added bonus of tasting like bacon and not kale. And it's pretty strong bacon flavor. And Chris Langdon insists. He's the research at OSU's Hatfield Marine Science Center. Langdon and company looking at ways to, of course, market their new creation.
Why not? Gets people to eat something healthy.
Bacon-flavored seaweed.
You got bacon-flavored everything else.
Yeah, why not? Why not indeed? All right, just wanted to tell you what was going on the cutting edge of science this morning.
6:55 at KMAS and KMAS.com. A good morning to you. 26-year-old Alabama burglary suspect arrested on Wednesday running afoul of the law and a bull, according to a TV station down there. Brad Hemby and the female accomplice were caught red-handed by a homeowner whose residence they were trying to allegedly rob and were run from the house. Cops were called, gave chase. Hemby crashed his truck near a cow pasture. This is when the pair split up. And the cops got an assist by an animal. Marshall County Sheriff Scott Walls told the TV station the driver fled across a cow pasture, grabbing the attention of a bull running the field. The bull gave chase alongside the deputies. The lady suspect got away. This guy was chased into a barbed wire fence and surrendered.
Yes.
Charged with burglary, criminal mischief, and attempting to elude a police officer. Wow.
Man.
They just got done with the running of the bulls. Would you ever do that? Would you ever go?
No. And I watched it, and I didn't see one girl on the streets. Just a bunch of dumbass boys.
It's pretty much how it works. I'm always reminded of the movie City Slickers.
Yeah.
And then those three guys, they did those things every year, and they went to Pamplona, and they did the running.
Yeah. It is, it's not even a rite of passage. I mean, it's something that, for some reason, people are compelled to do that. But those bulls are...
You just don't know.
Well, they're freaked out, and they're running down the streets, first of all, and they're out of and then there's just chaos and the bulls are falling. The hooves come out from underneath them, and they slip and fall. And
well, a lot of times, people say if you're in the woods and you're going to be out there for a long time, go in the woods with someone you're faster than. But that's not the case with these bulls, it seems like.
No,
you can be you could be Usain Bolt.
Yeah.
And it seems like regardless, the bulls catch up with you.
Yeah. Yeah. Well, everybody's running around with the bull, running in the same direction as the bulls, and the bull just turns right and then gouges you and goes left and spins out of control.
It's pretty scary.
And those things, they're big. So it's a goofy thing. No, I don't think I have that on my list.
No, it's not on your bucket list.
No, I don't know that. I mean, I watched some segments of that here this last week. Like you said, it just concluded and was on a lot of the TV channels. It doesn't even look like it'd be fun to go watch. This looks a little bit too crazy.
You got to really be careful.
They had a whole big rollout show pre-bull run and a post-bull run. And
I'm sure.
It was like watching the Golf Channel, only it's the Bull Channel.
6:57 here at KMAS. The Old Farmer's Almanac is coming up next. We'll find out the latest in ABC News. Marilyn Foster just after that with the latest in local news. And we'll continue on through daybreak here on KMAS News Radio. Again, we encourage you to submit questions to our candidates forum a week from tomorrow. KMAS News at KMAS.com. And probably it would be beneficial to tell us where the questions should go.
To which race?
Yeah, like we don't need school board questions to the mayor.
No.
You're listening to Daybreak with Jeff and Dale on KMAS News Radio.
It's July, and we could all use a little extra firepower in the battle against odor. More about taming the smells of summer on the Old Farmer's Almanac Radio Report.
When our water heater broke down last month, it was a nightmare. It took 5 hours for the plumber to show up, and he charged us a couple of $100 just to come out. Then it cost another $1,800 to put in the new water heater. By the time it was all said and done, I felt like I'd been taken. But what else could I do?
The smartest thing you can do is get a home warranty from American Residential Warranty. Their home warranties pay to repair or replace all your major appliances when they break, and they will break, and at the worst possible time. Call American Residential Warranty right now for free information on home warranties starting at just pennies a day. Don't wait for your refrigerator to stop running or your ceiling fans to stop turning. Call American Residential Warranty right now. Ask how you can save up to 50% on washer and dryer coverage. Just call 877-827-9378. That's 877-827-9378. Again, 877-827-9378. Call now.
With more practical tips and useful advice, this is the Old Farmer's Almanac Radio Report for Wednesday, July 15th, the 196th day of the year. The moon is new today, and singer Linda Ronstadt has a birthday. It's no secret, especially in the dog days of summer, that we all sweat. Some of us are just more successful at covering up those unpleasant odors. Here are some tips for taming them. If antiperspirants and deodorants aren't enough, a damp cloth sprinkled with baking soda is a good remedy. Or make a spritz out of apple cider vinegar and water. The vinegar smell dissipates quickly, but its antibacterial effects remain. And if you need to sock it to foot odors, try this. In a basin, mix brewed black tea with cool water and soak your feet for 30 minutes a day. Some people swear it'll give you sweeter smelling feet in a week or two. That's the Old Farmer's Almanac Radio Report. Find more natural remedies at almanac.com.
Alex Jones is on weekdays from 9 in the evening to 1 a.m. on 1030 KMAS Shelton, FM 104.1, and now in Thurston County on 92.9.
Here's the latest from ABC News. I'm Karen Chase. President Obama will try to convince skeptics that the historic nuclear agreement with Iran will make the world safer at a White House news conference this afternoon. More from ABC's Kenneth Moten.
President Obama is now in full salesman-in-chief mode as he works to sell the new nuclear deal with Iran to the American people. The president is facing mounting criticism over the agreement, but it highlights his belief that diplomacy is the key instead of military force.
To keep that pothole patching marching going. The House gets to work today on a measure to prevent a temporary shutdown in highway and transit aid to states. The measure includes $8 billion to keep the aid and the asphalt flowing through mid-December. Republicans bristled at Donald Trump's entrance into the presidential race and at his comments calling Mexican immigrants criminals. But ABC's Jonathan Karl tells us new polling numbers suggest he's a force to be reckoned with.
Trump's comments have been controversial. They've been offensive. He's been attacked by Democrats and Republicans, but his popularity has actually gone up. Take the latest ABC News Washington Post poll.
On to infinity and beyond with its first trip to Pluto. The New Horizons spacecraft completed its flyby of the most distant planet in the solar system and is now wowing scientists on Earth with pictures. ABC's TJ Holmes has details on what we've learned so far.
The New Horizons vessel, the size of a piano, traveled 31,000 miles per hour as it cruised 6,000 miles away from the surface. Pluto was downgraded to a dwarf planet back in 2006, but it turns out little Pluto is bigger than anyone thought. This mission proving it's almost 1,500 miles across.
The solar plane trying to circle the globe on solar power cut short its journey in Hawaii after overheating batteries damaged the aircraft. A fellow Olympian will hand Caitlyn Jenner the Arthur Ashe Courage Award at the ESPYs tonight. U.S. women's soccer team star Abby Wambach. This is ABC News.
You're getting very sleepy. Sleepy. You're no longer afraid of bunnies. Bunnies. You'll join my rewards program. I'll join your... Wait, what? 50% off your 5th session. Focus on the value. Value.
How about a rewards program you'll actually use every day? Finally, there's Plenty. Earn points at one place and use them at another. Sign up today at plentywithani.com for access to offers worth over $100 in savings. There's Plenty together. Terms and conditions apply.
When you're running your own business, you're bound to be busy. Too busy. Too busy worrying about your budget. Too busy scheduling appointments. Too busy to build a website for your business. And because you're too busy, it has to be easy. And that's where Wix.com comes in. With Wix.com, it's easy for you to create your stunning website. Go to Wix.com and create your website today. It's easy and free. That's Wix.com.
Pete Rose got a hero's welcome when he stepped onto the field at Great American Ballpark to accept an award just before the All-Star game. Then the rumor mill went into overdrive about whether he may someday be reinstated. ABC's Ryan Burrow has the latest.
They still love him in Cincinnati. Pete Rose, who's been banned from baseball by the MLB, was given a standing ovation during introductions of the Reds franchise four before the All-Star game Tuesday night. The league has kept him out of the Hall of Fame, but Commissioner Rob Manfred did allow Rose to receive the team honor, complete with on-field ceremony. Manfred and Rose met briefly Tuesday. Rose said he didn't know if he'd have a better shot at being reinstated under Commissioner Manfred. Ryan Burrow, ABC News.
If you think you have a rough commute, yours probably wasn't as bad as those driving on I-5 near Bellingham, Washington. A truck hauling portable toilets crashed in the southbound lanes, and no, they weren't empty. A hazmat team was called in to clean it all up. No one was hurt, unless you count the assault on the fences. Karen Chase, ABC News.
Local news is brought to you by Shelton Health and Rehabilitation.
For KMAS Newsradio.com, I'm Mary Lynn Foster. Mason County Budget Manager Frank Pinter presented the budget timeline and budget guidelines to the county's department heads and elected officials for drafting their 2016 operating budget. He said they're simplifying the process this year.
Last year we had a very complicated and complex accounting Excel spreadsheet. This year it's only going to be a one-page summary. It's not going to be line by line. It will have things like salaries, overtime, extra help coming to a salaries total. Benefits will be for a total of benefits. And operationally, it'll be based on the character codes, supply, services, intergovernmental. So it'll be just summaries of each of those rather than line by line detail.
The timeline requires department heads and elected officials to complete their preliminary budgets and return them to the auditor by August 10th. Budget workshops will begin September 1st, with the target for a completed budget being early December 2015. With continued strong community support and a grant awarded to the hospital, money raised for the Shelton Pool capital repairs now tops $81,000. Currently, pool repairs are scheduled to go to bid at the beginning of August, giving Splash about 2 more weeks to reach its funding goal of $100,000. Splash President Jackie McAlevey encourages residents to get their donations in. Checks can be mailed to Splash, P.O. Box 1982, Shelton 98584, or online at masongeneral.com. Tumwater police are investigating an altercation that led to a shooting yesterday morning. The altercation occurred at a construction site on Dennis Street Southwest. After the sound of a gunshot, people fled the scene. Police found a shell casing and damage. The suspects are believed to have fled in a light-colored Toyota Camry with damage to the front windshield and a missing rear window, and a gray or tan-colored Toyota with the trunk lid strapped down. Anyone with information is asked to call the Tumwater Police Department. The public is hearing 16-year-old Autumn Veach describe the plane crash she miraculously survived in a newly released 911 tape.
I was riding from Kalispell, Montana to Bellingham, Washington, and about, well, I don't know where, but we crashed and I was the only one that made it out. I have a lot of burns on my hands and I'm like kind of covered in bruises and scratches and stuff.
Veach hiked down a trail and flagged down a car. Search crews are still looking for the plane wreckage. For 1030 KMAS, FM 104.1, and in Thurston County on 92.9, I'm Marilyn Foster.
The Dave Ramsey Show, where common sense meets dollars and cents.
88% of the people that take out a debt consolidation loan don't change their habits and end up deeper in debt. The debt is not the problem, it's the symptom. The problem is spending. The problem is not having a plan. You need to get out the credit cards, cut them up, get on a written budget, sell so much stuff the kids think they're next. You get this dadgum mess cleaned up. You cannot borrow your way out of debt. Hi, this is Dave Ramsey. Tune into my show weekdays from noon to 3 here on KMAS.
Snow melts. Rain falls. Rivers form. This happens all over the world. But when it happens here, something wonderful unfolds. A renewable source of energy, created without releasing even an ounce of CO2 into the Earth's atmosphere.
Mason PUD 3. Clean, renewable, and reliable energy every day.
Fishing for another junior circuit win. Hi, everybody. Todd Ant reporting on sports. It was another American League victory at the Summer Classic in Cincinnati, 6-3 over the senior circuit. And Angels outfielder Mike Trout becomes the first ever back-to-back MVP award winner, going deep at his first at-bat.
Swing and a drive. Well hit right field. This one back there. Harper back. That one is gone. It's a leadoff homer. A liner the other way for Mike Trout.
On ESPN Radio and his first 4 All-Star appearances, Trout has now hit for the cycle.
Yeah, I can't explain the feeling right now. Just the whole environment, whole experience. I was a little amped up first couple pitches and just put a good swing on it and went over the fence.
So the American League opens the World Series at home for the 10th time in 13 years. Before the game, there was a long ovation for Pete Rose, who was honored along with Johnny Bench, Barry Larkin, and Joe Morgan. Bench wants his old teammate to do the right thing.
His finest competitor I've ever known in my life. He's been my business partner. If the rules are going to be there, okay, fine. Admit to what you're doing, first of all. Admit to it.
Commissioner Rob Manfred with his thoughts about meeting with Rose in the future.
What the room will look like that day, I'll largely leave up to him. And the reason for that, to Pete, and the reason for that is I want him to feel comfortable in the process, and I want him to be able to give me whatever information he wants to give me in the way that he's most comfortable transmitting it.
NFL news, there's collusion in the air. The Players Association claims the Cowboys and Broncos have spoken about the contracts of receivers Dez Bryant and Demaryius Thomas. ESPN's Dan Graziano with the latest information.
The NFLPA says it has credible information that the two teams discussed the contract situations, which would be the textbook definition of collusion. Each of these players is trying to get a long-term deal done with his team in advance of Wednesday's deadline for franchise players to do so.
Bryant tweeted Monday that he won't report to camp unless he gets a contract done by today. NBA news, Darren Williams cleared waivers, and now he joins his hometown team, the Dallas Mavericks. Todd Ant, ABC Sports.
For News Radio 1030 KMAS Shelton, FM 104.1, 92.9 FM, Thurston County, and streaming online audio and video, KMAS.com. I'm talking to you.
You're talking to someone.
Baseball's All-Star Game for 2015 is in the books. Once again, the best of the American League beat the best of the National. Mike Trout leading the way and leading the game off with a home run.
Did you hear what he did? This is his 4th year in a row being an all-star, but maybe more. Hit for the cycle in order. Meaning 4 years ago he hit a single. 3 years ago he hit a double. Triple last year and a home run last night.
Yeah.
But he's like the next Mickey Mantle. He really is.
He's also the first player in Major League Baseball history to have been the All-Star MVP 2 years in a row. He's got 3 or 4 possible MVP All-Star games still ahead of him. Yeah. And nobody's really been more an MVP more than twice in their career.
Didn't the Mariners have a shot at him?
At Mickey Mantle?
At Mickey Mantle.
I don't think the Mariners ever had a shot at Michael Trout. There was a wish list there.
That's what it was.
He was a free agent for 30 seconds, and then the Angels signed him again. You know, they're not going to let him go.
No.
Why would they? Our All-Stars, though, Felix, he did well. He pitched the 3rd inning, shutout, 1 strikeout, masterful. I think he only used like 8 pitches in the whole inning. Pretty good. Nelson Cruz, the other Mariner representative, started in the cleanup position as the DH. Kind of bombed. He struck out swinging to end the 1st inning, and then he was up in the 3rd inning and took the first pitch he saw and flew out.
Oof.
And then his night was over. So
you don't have a lot of opportunities on the All-Star game. You need to make them count.
Oh, yeah.
Felix did.
Felix has. Always.
Nelson did not this time.
Yeah, tough stuff. And Jordan Spieth and the rest of the world's top golfers except one are in St. Andrews, Scotland, prepping for the start of play tomorrow at the British Open. We will have reports from the British Open for you throughout the day tomorrow, Friday, Saturday, and Championship Sunday. Brought to you by Alderbrook Golf. Stop by there. They've got a summer special right now. It's pretty incredible. You can show up anytime. I think it's afternoon during the week and after 1 o'clock in the afternoon. And you can golf, 2 of you, for $50 or something. It's pretty good little twilight special going on there at Alderbrook. So check that out. And then Rory McIlroy is the lone exception to the folks that are gathering there at St. Andrews. He'll be sitting on the sidelines with the rest of us. I'm doing as good as Rory this week. He was playing soccer with his buddies and ruptured a tendon in his ankle.
Wow.
Ankles are important in a golf swing.
Well, I think just in general, they're pretty important.
They are.
All right, good morning to you. Wednesday.
You've got an ankle biter at home, you know.
I sure do.
All right.
Woof. No. 56 right now. Clear skies, warming up to about the same as yesterday, 80. 75 tomorrow with some clouds. Then Friday gets us back above 80. Then we're going to be above 90 through the weekend.
What?
Monday, if you happen to be part of the Love Inc. golf tournament at the Alderbrook, it's going to be beautiful. Little partly cloudy sky and 80 as we warm up through the day.
It's Daybreak with Jeff and Dale on KMAS News Radio. Join the guys as they talk with neighbors, newsmakers, and each other, getting your day off to the absolute best possible start in the history of mornings. Connect with Jeff and Dale through the KMAS listener line, by email, or Facebook. Now, from the artesian waters of South Puget Sound, Daybreak with Jeff and Dale.
All right, good morning to you. 7:15 here at KMAS on the web this morning. KMAS.com. We encourage you to head over to the YouTube and see the show live this morning. We have a new camera angle. It's kind of more of, it's closer. It's
wider.
It's a wider shot. It's not up in the
CinemaScope.
It's not up in the corner. If you are watching it and then before a new guest comes in, there will be a little bit of motion. So if you are prone to motion sickness,
yes,
definitely watch out.
Look away
when I move the cameras. But for the most part, this is actually, I was just telling Dale, I'd sit and watch this. We see us just kind of goofing around and you're having breakfast. I'm about ready to do the same. And kind of a nice warm welcome to you and
Cheers.
Good morning to you.
As I told Jeff, it's a little more intimidating. For some reason, I'm more conscious of the camera now at that angle than I was when it was over in that corner over there. I don't know why, but I just am. I have a new presidential candidate, like we needed another one.
Wait.
Yeah, there's another one announced.
Okay.
Ladies and gentlemen, his name is Limberbutt McCubbins, a registered federal office seeker. Limberbutt McCubbins.
Yeah. What party?
Who happens to be a cat.
So he's a Democrat. Or a Republicat.
This happened probably back in early May, said Emily McCubbins of Louisville, Kentucky. She told ABC News, she says, my friend Isaac messaged on Facebook asking for my address after about a half an hour later. I got an email from the FEC that Limberbutt McCubbins had been officially registered in the presidential race. She says she's 17 years old. I think if you're going to become a leader of the free world, you should have to do a bit more of an extensive application process. Yeah. You don't even have to put a social security number, spelled security with a C, which is a bit worrisome, but you do have to file some papers for tax records and campaign donations. You have to raise $5,000 to get on the ballot. Being that Limberbutt is a cat,